What's up, everyone? Welcome back to this week's episode of Mindset Monday. And today is all about removing yourself from the pain of the past and how to make sure that the weight of the past is no longer holding you back. Tune in to find out more. First thing we want to look at is how much weight are you carrying? I talk to women every single day, and the biggest thing that they share with me is the fact that things feel heavy. They feel big. They feel like they're carrying all this weight with them on anything that they're trying to do. Even just being able to get up in the morning and get back into routine, everything feels so heavy and so hard. When we dig into things a bit more and we peel away some layers of that onion, it's really easy to see that the biggest reason things feel so heavy and like you're carrying so much weight is because you're stacking all of the past failures on top of your new approach. You're stacking everything that didn't work, all of the negative emotions, the negative conversations, the negative outcomes for a lot of you. You're stacking it on top of yourself, and then you're wondering why you feel like you're under this huge load and this big weight, and then you're trying to move forward carrying it on your back. And we can realize and identify where that weight is coming from. We can then decide how much of it we want to continue to carry. Because for some of you, there's going to be deep-seated beliefs, there's going to be deep-seated self-confidence issues and everything else that aren't instantly going to disappear because you decide they're going to. But that's not going to stop you from moving forward. Things are just going to feel a little bit heavier for a while until they don't, until you start to learn that you do have the confidence, you do have the level of self-belief, you do have the ability to do what you want, and then you no longer need to carry any of this shit with you. You can dump all of those old crappy baggages off and you can move forward freer. And that's when things feel easier, you feel lighter. And when you can do that, moving forward and getting into momentum is so much easier. With regards to where you are right now, just assess how much of your current heaviness and weight is attached to the past. Because once you know that, right, decide how much of it you want to carry on with you as you're moving forward, or decide how much you're willing to just let go of now and move forward freer. One of the best ways to do that is to understand that your past has nothing to do with your future. If I think about what my past looked like and the fact that I used to own lots of different gyms around the world, that type of business, that type of online business and doing things the way that I used to, like for me, if I still had that type of business now, or I felt like that was the only thing I could do, I wouldn't have the level of freedom I have. I wouldn't be able to travel the world. I wouldn't be able to live in Bali. You've defined yourself based on past circumstances, situations, outcomes, results. And now when you're looking to do something new, still looking at things through those glasses, through the glasses of the past and the way that things worked in the past, versus the opportunity of looking through fresh glasses of things that you want to be able to achieve, of how you want to feel, of creating a new vision for yourself. The coolest part is that any moment in time, we can choose a different outcome for ourselves. We can choose to do something that has nothing to do with the past. Your ability to move forward in a different direction has nothing to do with the past. Your ability to create an outcome that you want, regardless of the fact that you failed 1,000 times in the past, you have that opportunity every single day. And when you can realize that, you no longer keep dragging the past with you and stacking it on top of you and weighing you down. But it takes that perspective shift of you going, do you know what? Like, look, everything I did in the past led me to this point. Cool, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to go. What do I need to bring with me? What do I need to own? What do I need to learn and gain and everything else in order to go in that direction? Cool. Well, that's where my focus is going to go. If I'm trying to move that way, but my focus is here, now I'm walking backwards and I'm wondering why I never know where I'm going. I wonder why all I see is the same shit I used to see in the past. Well, look where you're looking. When you can do this, again, it's going to free you up, and you're going to get that new level of excitement, that new level of enthusiasm, because you know, hey, this is brand new. I'm going to build a new skill. I'm going to build a new me, regardless of anything to do with the past. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant in the equation. All right, last thing I'm going to say around the past, all right, is that old beliefs equal old results. I am moving forward and I see this. I'll give you a tangible example, right? Like, we get a lot of women that drop a lot of fat with us, and their body fat percentage comes down a lot, their weight will drop a lot, their complete body transformation, like they've gone from having shape and tone where they've never had that in the past. But if the belief up here is that I'm still fat. I'm still ugly. I'm still not good enough. I'm still not where I should be. I'm still not light enough. I'm leaner than I've ever been and fitting in all my clothes, but the number on the scale hasn't changed enough. So I'm still too heavy. I'm still overweight. Old beliefs are going to lead to an old result. And here's why. You're going to end up self-sabotaging. You're going to end up at some point going back to that same painful cycle because you're looking at things through the old you, through your old beliefs, not the fact that, hey, you've just stuck to something for long enough. Now you've got to X, Y, and Z results. Look at how far you've come compared to where you were, which is something we'll touch on in a minute. But most importantly, look at the person that you're becoming and how this is developing into part of who you are and what you do on a daily basis. You don't reinforce that. And when you don't reinforce that, you rely on the old beliefs. You rely on the old things that you know, the old patterns, the old failures, right? The old negative self-talk. And you wonder why, regardless of what you're achieving, you never feel like you've achieved something. You never feel like it's good enough. And like I said, changing your belief systems takes time, but if I don't direct my focus towards what I want, how I want to feel, and I'm always letting my focus drift back into how I don't want to feel, how I used to feel, how I don't like X, Y, and Z, then you're going to end up with more of that. And you might not see it now. I've seen it so many times, it's heartbreaking, where I'll see a woman who's just like nailing everything. And I don't see it so much in our program now because our program is very much about the big picture. But in the past, when we used to run 6-week challenges and 28-day challenges, and you watch somebody make an incredible transformation to then 12 weeks later, be overweight and be unhappy and even be in a worse state than they were before they started, because again, they didn't give themselves the time to build that new belief system because everything they did was about quick fix, and they still had these old belief systems that were the underbelly and dragging them back. Last thing, how do you use the past to fuel your future? For me, I love looking back in the past in terms of how far I've come. And at the moment, if you're just restarting again, cool. For a lot of you, not giving up, right? Continuing to try, continuing to want more for yourself. I want you to take ownership of that because that takes a lot. It takes you deciding to want more for yourself, which is a big step forward versus you that self-hated, laid on the couch, didn't want to do anything, right? No longer felt like it was worth doing something. You didn't even feel worthy of doing something for yourself. To now be at a point where you want to, that's a big step forward. Congratulate yourself for it. Feel good about it. Now when we start to move forward even more, now the gap's even bigger. Right? And what I can tell you after doing this for 24 years, my favorite moment, absolute favorite moment, is when we get so far down the road that they no longer recognize who they were. Can't even see that person anymore. They can't even understand how they operated and why they operated that way and the level that they used to speak to themselves and the emotions that used to come up and how heavy and shitty and everything felt. They can't even imagine it anymore because the gap's so big. If you're sitting here now, take ownership of the fact that you want to do something for yourself. And if you're not there, get there. Because it's a great first step to realize, cool, I'm leaving that shit behind. Like, that's not who I want to be anymore. I'm going that way. All right? And then the further down the road you get, the bigger the gap gets. The bigger the gap gets, the more progress that you've achieved. The further you are away from that person and the closer you are to being the person that you want to be. And that should be your driver, because the person that you want to be is attached to the feelings that you want, the emotions that you want, the life that you want, the results that you want. All of that stuff should be your drivers because they're all connected to your why. Like, why is it important for you to live that way, to feel that way, to operate that way, to have things work in that way for you, right? Those are the things that matter. The bigger that gap gets, the more exciting it gets because you know you're even further down the road to everything that you want and even further down the road away from the things that you don't want. If, as always, I can help you on this journey, even if it's just to get you to the point of deciding what's going to be the best thing for you to do, send me an email, all right? Adam@ilovechanginglives.com. Otherwise, comment below here and I will reach back to you. And as always, if you think somebody would benefit from this, hit the like and the share button, send it through to them. And I look forward to connecting with you all next week. And if you want to stay in touch with me, all right, and you want to get even more help, click in the link in the bio and join my free Facebook group. I'm posting content in there every single day. I've got a lot of great resources in there for you, and I would love to be able to connect with you inside of that group every single day.